project, once complete, will be North America's largest refinery and one of the largest in the world. And what began back in 2007 has now progressed to this. To date, nearly 40 million hours have been spent on planning, engineering, implementation, and construction on behalf of thousands of workers and support personnel. Upon completion, the refinery's crude oil throughput capacity will increase to 600,000 barrels per day from the existing 275,000 barrels per day. The completed expansion will bolster energy security in the U.S. by strengthening the supply of gasoline, diesel, aviation fuels, and high-quality base oils. In all, Motiva's refinery will produce about 23 million gallons of transportation fuels per day. From the early dirt work back in 2007, this parcel of land in Port Arthur has been transformed into a labyrinth of steel, pipe, cable,
Merry
and concrete.
Christmas. How you doing?
Highlights include driving nearly 63,000 piles into the ground, the pouring of 319,000 cubic yards of concrete, the erecting of 29,000 tons of steel, and the installation of 685,000 linear feet of pipe. These are just a few of the more impressive numbers that make the crude expansion project the largest construction project.
I've already got everything together to, because I can put, once I put it on, I don't have to be sitting out there watching it. It'll cook itself.
Or out in the front lines. This project and its
I appreciate it, but no, I had already got the smoker out and got the meat marinated, and it won't take much. So just come on over whenever you get ready.
In civil works, and you really see the steel take off. So many thousands of tons of steel work erected, pre-flared Eric's.
I mean, there's nothing that I know that we need unless you just want, unless you just want to bring something for yourself special.
And thanks to the efforts of many on the project, we've seen many other milestones.
That's sweet of you. Yeah, she loves those things.
We actually installed about 60,000 yards ago.
Okay.
We completed setting all 320.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening. Be careful. Bye-bye.
We erected 20,000 tons of steel.
Carol.
And also 467,000 feet of pipe. And also about 420,000 feet of cable. So just some remarkable quantities were installed this year.
As the project enters its final year, there remains plenty of work yet to perform. The continued support and dedication from every individual engaged on the project every day is the key to project success in safety, cost, and schedule. But before we look ahead, a brief look back at 2010, where there were many things to celebrate and be proud of, including a span of 10 million hours without a lost time incident.
And then we had the point of our fatality in April with...
Can I open my present?
We haven't learned from all those things this year, and we're reaffirming our goal for 0 incidents and to finish the project without a lost time incident.
Clearly we didn't get to where we wanted to get to in terms of recordable injuries, and still too many people going home hurt at the end of the day, and our goal really is no harm to people. So a lot to do to get to an accident-free site, but I was really encouraged by the reduction in hazardous incidents happening across the site, the high potential incidents. We've seen a reduction in the first aids recently, and a real focus in many areas to really drive to our goal of 0 injuries. And if you look at some of the contractors, some contractors can rightly be proud of the fact they've gone spells with 0 injuries, complete 0 injuries, and that's outstanding. And if they can do it, every one of the companies on this site can do it. So that, for me, is a highlight. We're seeing the trend in the right direction at last.
The ongoing collaboration between Bechtel Construction and Jacobs Engineering Group, the managing contractor at this EEP, will continue to ensure this expansion project is constructed in a safe, efficient, and cost-effective manner.
Yeah, across a project of this scale and magnitude, and it really is an epic project, you can imagine there's quite some challenge to coordinate across all the different areas, the different lunch tents, the different contractors, looking at the varying challenges as you look at your 90-day plans. So the health and safety departments, both in Motiva and the managing contractor, and the general contractors, have worked really hard to raise the game and work across the piece to support each other. And you can see some of the benefits coming to the field in terms of the Friday coordination meeting that really is a proactive forum, and where you see some of the Jumbotron recordings of real success out there. And that's very encouraging for the future.
I'm going outside to see if I can find my fluid for charcoal.
And we're going to be going up to about 9,500
Up front?
in April. And that means an additional 2,000 people coming to the site every day. What's going to happen over that time frame as well is we're going to be actually shifting the mix of crafts persons we have out here, moving more toward electrical going forward. So we have a bit of a change in who we have. But yeah, it's busy now, and we'll continue to ramp up through April when we hit our peak.
There are many contractors who stand out in 2010, but I'd like to pick two that really relate to some of the work that's happened in the last year, and that's the two contractors focused on the heavy lift work, Mammoth and Deep South. We probably had the biggest heavy lift program undertaken on any refinery around the globe. Having a modular approach to the construction, we've lifted some really heavy weights, and something in the excess of 100,000 tons have been lifted this year. We've had the 3 largest cranes in the US on site for a total of just over 12 months. We've had the largest number of the SPMT trailers to coordinate all the lifts and move the modules around the site. And hats off to those teams. They've worked flawlessly. They've worked 24/7 in some cases to get the work done and without incident. So we've had a really good performance by those two.
Mammoth was instrumental in the transportation and setting of the more than 300 modules. From Port Arthur's port facility to deep within the CEP, Mammoth has safely navigated hundreds of modules, vessels, and pieces of large equipment at the CEP.
It's our job to make sure that safety is kind of a 360 range situation. We have to watch everything that's going on around us and do a lot of planning ahead of time. And it starts with engineering, and of course it bleeds down to recognizing the route, and then assuring the route, and then planning as well to make sure everything's out of the way.
Mammoth took a very lead role in the whole project, along with the JV side. The folks from the rigging department, it was given to Mammoth to decide how to lift each piece, also transition the barge. There was a constant ballasting process as you unloaded these very large pieces off of a barge.
Construction of the modules was performed at one of 4 locations, including Brewer, Maine, Goose Creek, South Carolina, Ingleside, Texas, and Tampico, Mexico.
We've had an unbelievable amount of input from this JV. It has enabled the port to recognize and probably be one of the largest or most used project terminals in the nation during this project. As far as a project of this size, I doubt I'll ever be able to see anything on this scale. It's by far the largest project I've ever been involved with in 20 years at the port.
Offloading and transporting all the modules were just part of the process here at the CEP. The lifting of the hundreds of modules, vessels, drums, and flares took a collaborative effort from a number of contractors, none bigger than Deep South Crane and Rigging. From the drums and derrick structures atop DCU-2 to the 400-foot-plus flares within the OSBL, Deep South's team of nearly 100 workers and its arsenal of large cranes were put to the test with these huge lifts.
As far as equipment on site, days on site, tonnage of equipment we lifted, this was undoubtedly the largest project we've ever done. It takes a lot of coordination and a lot of effort on a lot of people's parts to pull this off safely, and lots of planning involved, lots of engineering.
And while Deep South gets the credit for successfully lifting the flares in place, it was Teton Industrial who was charged with assembling the 3 flares.
First of all, we planned it to be a very safe project. We didn't want to compromise one bit on regarding safety. Then we put our plan together, and we accomplished that by working on a typical, like an Audi schedule. We worked 7 days a week, and we did it with a team effort.
These mammoth 400-foot-plus structures were assembled while on the ground, But once erected, these flares have changed the skyline at the refinery and are now testimony to the collaboration and success of all those involved in building this refinery. Contributions were made by a number of other general contractors in 2010. To view some of their efforts here at the CEP, click on the Contractor Highlights button on the main DVD menu. Outside of the CEP, Motiva continues to be committed to being a responsive, responsible member of the community. The expansion project will continue to be an economic boost to local and regional economies across Southeast Texas. Nearly half of the workforce on site are locally based. Since the inception, the CEP has strived to hire local, minority, and women-owned businesses.
Huge focus from the project team, both in the managing contractor, Motiva, and the GCs, to really work with the community to maximise the opportunities that this project can bring. A lot of investment with charities, with local, minority, and women businesses, and really looking to make the community a better place for having the project here than not. The list is too long for me to share with you the number of charities we've invested in, but they are many. We've tried to focus in health, in welfare, in education and community projects, and try and really support the community wherever we can. And I know that the mayor and the city officials are much appreciative of the effort that we put in.
Well, I had been mayor approximately 5 months when the announcement was made that they were indeed going to go on with the CEP project, and that was an amazing thing for the city of Port Arthur because it allowed our citizens to be employed. Hundreds of our Port Arthurians have been employed. And it also brought in hundreds of other people there, which added to our tax base, as a matter of fact.
It has just been a tremendous boost to the whole entire Jefferson County economy. I would even say as far as Louisiana, it's really been a big help to our economy.
I think about the impact of the local community. Right now, about 3,500 of our 7,500 workers come from the local 9 counties. So we are really building this project with the local folks, and also the economic impact of the area is in billions. Because not only now buying goods and services and employing everybody here, but the long-term running of the facility will be handled here locally as well. So it's great for the local community.
Because Motiva is actually a community partner. And they've worked closely with the city, with the school district, in training our people with digital workforce, making certain that our people acquire those skill sets that were absolutely necessary to work at on the CEP project.
If somebody wants a job, they want to work, they can get their foot in the door and get a start. Yes, sir. Especially on that project. It's been just tremendous for Port Aruthur, Texas.
What we'd hope is that over the holidays, you can step back and reflect on the excellent accomplishments we've achieved in 2010. Rest up, spend time with your families, be ready to come back fresh and make a safe start, and then we basically have a great year and complete the project in 2011.
I'd just personally like to say thank you to all the craft out there who've done a fantastic job in 2010. My big ask for 2011 is that you really stay safe. Stay focused on going home to your families safely each and every day. And just take the opportunity over the holiday period to enjoy that time with your family, reflect on a job well done, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.